This is Michael Smith of MedPage Today. I'm in Chicago at the annual InterScience Conference on antimicrobial agents and chemotherapy. I spoke with Dr. Kathleen Squires of Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia, who's presenting data from the so-called REALMark trial of Raltegravir in a study that was oversampling blacks and women. And I asked her why the study was performed.
What was noticed during the development process of the drug, in other words, the phase 2 and phase 3 trials, that the percentage of patients participating in those trials who were women or black patients was rather modest. And so if you think about the demographics of HIV infection, not only in the United States here, but on a global basis, I think you look at the numbers and you realize that women and people of color, black people, make up a large proportion of the patient population who have HIV. So clearly you want data to help inform your treatment decisions as well as counseling patients about the use of certain agents. So that really was one of the major reasons to do the study. It was also something that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, had a discussion with Merck about. And that is the same thing that's happened with many of the more recently FDA-approved agents, with the feeling that you really need to be able to have data in the patient populations who are most affected by this particular infection.
And of course, in the U.S., many blacks and many women are affected. And of course, worldwide, women basically form half the patient
Correct.
Population.
Right.
You treated them for 48 weeks with Raltegravir and other drugs, of course, because it's triple drug therapy. What did you find?
What we found overall, it was a diverse group of patients, not only in gender and in race, but also in terms of their treatment experience. So it did encompass the entire group of HIV-infected patients, from treatment naive through treatment experience, failing therapy, or intolerant to their therapy. And what we found overall is that the outcome in terms of efficacy, meaning the proportion of patients who are able to achieve virologic suppression measured as less than 50 copies per mil, and the tolerability profile was very similar regardless of race or of ethnic background, specifically in this case black patients.
Mm-hmm. So that should be reassuring for clinicians and presumably their patients from these populations.
That's correct. Data, information is always knowledge. So to be able to sit across from your patient and say, this is how this drug performs in somebody like you who is a woman, or somebody like you who is a black individual, I think is very helpful for the patient to put things into context, and for the clinician to feel that they've really got a robust database behind them in terms of making their decision.
In Chicago, I'm Michael Smith, MedPage Today.